Hey everyone, in this voice recording, I'm going to be talking about sacred sea creatures or aquatic creatures in the Roman Republic, okay? Previously, I had made videos or voice recordings on sacred animals and avians in the Roman Republic, okay? I had spoken on the sacred animals in the Roman Republic, being the canines, big dogs, small dogs, and the felines, the big cats and the small cats, okay? And I had also spoken on the sacred birds in the Roman Republic, example being the eagle, the falcon, sometimes even the vulture. It really depends, okay? So in this voice recording, I'm going to be talking about the sacred sea creatures or aquatic life forms or aquatic creatures. What were considered sacred and an inspiration for the Roman Republic and the Romans, okay? Now, I would like to clear the confusion by saying not every single sea creature is sacred to the Roman Republic, okay? If there is a sea creature, even that is sacred, it doesn't mean every single one of them is sacred, okay? There's no need to get too radical about things. Some sea creatures are sacred to the Romans and some are not. And even the ones that are sacred, not every single one is sacred, okay? So just to clear any confusion, radicalism, and fanaticism, I had to say that, okay? Now, the Roman Republic's sacred sea creatures, just like the birds, the dogs, and the cats, both big and small, the sacred sea creatures would be the sea turtle and the horseshoe crab, okay? Let me explain why. Now again, this doesn't mean every single sea turtle is sacred, or every single turtle is sacred, or every single horseshoe crab is sacred, okay? Now, why the sea turtle and why the horseshoe crab, okay? Now, the sea turtle, look, turtles in general were an inspiration for the Roman military since the beginning of the Roman Republic, the founding of Rome, everything. You know, when the civilization of Rome was in its baby stages, the turtle was an immediate inspiration for the Roman military, and let me explain why. You know, the Roman military's famous testudo formation, which is also known as the turtle formation, where the Roman soldiers or the legions close in with their shields to form a turtle-like formation to protect against arrows, stones fired by slingers, which are stone throwers. You know, they sling stones at you, you know, to prevent people throwing stones at you, to prevent archer attacks from the enemy. It was a very effective formation, and also to lock shields and to stay close and move together as a unit, a very disciplined unit like turtles, you know? Just like the turtle has a shell, a very hard, impenetrable shell, the testudo formation or the turtle formation is supposed to be an impenetrable shield for the Roman legion when they lock shields together, okay? an immovable, impenetrable walking fortress, okay, just like the turtle. When the attackers are aggressive with arrows and stones, just like a turtle goes into its shell for defense, the same thing a Roman testudo formation, okay? So if there's any creature from the sea that would be a sacred animal, a sacred creature from the sea for the Romans and the Roman Republic, it would obviously be the sea turtle, okay? Also the turtles, but just for the sake of saying sea creature, I would say sea turtles, okay? Because they also have a shell, a protective shell. And they're also an inspiration for the Roman Navy, okay? Look, these creatures are inspiration for all the units in the Roman Republic. Also the Praetorian Guard, Caesar's Blue Legion, and the General Red Roman Army and Navy, okay? So turtles in general are very sacred for and an inspiration for the Romans, especially the military, okay? Another inspiration from the turtle, also the sea turtle, is the Roman military has to maintain very strict discipline and not move too fast. Listen, this is the difference between also the Romans and the Greeks. In Rome, in the Roman Republic, there's no such thing as running a race on your feet or long distance running like a marathon. In Rome, it's slow marching legions, okay? Gladiator fights, chariot racing. There's a fine difference and distinction between the Romans and the Greeks. The Greek sports are all about speed, okay? In Rome, it's more about just executing the task, even if it takes a while, okay? And marching with discipline, okay? You know, there's an old Roman wisdom, an old proverb from Rome is, you know, there's a story between a turtle versus a rabbit, and the turtle won that race for some reason. I forgot what the whole moral of that story was, but look, slow and steady really does win, okay? Slow and steady with tactics, strategy, planning, and sane, rational thinking, okay? Not to just run at full speed and break formation like a bunch of barbarians, okay? So in the Roman military and Rome in general, but more for the military, okay? This is not necessarily applicable in civilian life. I'm talking about the military formations in the for the testudo formation, which is also a tactic in Caesar's Blue Legion, by the way, okay, to lock shields. Now, the legions in general, both in Caesar's Blue Legion and also in the Red General Roman Military Legion, when you're marching and when you're engaging the enemy, you don't run and break formation and charge at the enemy. That's a barbarian method of fighting. You have to fight civilized, okay? Never break formation. And even when you're marching, it doesn't have to be running. Remember, a legion, a Roman soldier is never running. He's walking in formation slowly, you know, in a very relaxed pace, okay? When you hear the footsteps of a Roman legion's march through the city, you know, it shouldn't sound like a bunch of raging bulls or some kind of a stampede, okay? It has to be like a slow march, you know, like slow marching turtles, okay? Because this running at full speed at the enemy, doing things in a hurry without thinking, going by emotions, and just running with fury. That's a barbarian military way of fighting. A Roman legion has to maintain discipline and learn how to march like turtles. It's better to be slow and steady and win rather than fast and furious and just have all of your soldiers killed for nothing. Okay? So even when the Roman legions are in training, you're never supposed to run, or even jogging is not permitted. You have to march slowly on foot. This also helps in conserving energy and also helps you to take sane, rational decisions. When to engage the enemy, when to lock shields. You're supposed to wait for the enemy to come to you, okay? The enemy is supposed to be uncivilized, and you're supposed to be civilized like an impenetrable turtle shell, okay? So that's the Roman method of fighting. Civilized, sane, rational thinking, and not just running and charging at the enemy like a bunch of barbarians, okay? Leave the barbarism to the enemy, okay? Remember, you're a civilized Roman soldier who thinks rationally. This also applies to the officer. Not to lose your cool and keep a level head in your thinking, okay? Not to make decisions based off of emotions and stuff like that. It has to be cold, calculated thinking, okay? Just like a sea turtle or something like that. Now, the horseshoe crab sacredness, I'm going to speak in part 2 of this video. And I'm also going to get into the sea turtle's inspiration for the Roman Navy in part 2 of this series. Okay? That's all I have in this voice recording. I'll see you people in upcoming voice recordings, okay? And part 2. You can check out some links in the description box below if you're interested. See you people later somewhere else, okay?